Good morning. It's early, and I am having some oatmeal and coffee and getting ready to go to my second reproductive endocrinologist appointment. This is like my second consult, but kind of going to figure out which way we're going to go. And I am having coffee out of my mom's favorite mug. It's her Winnie the Pooh mug. She loved Winnie the Pooh. And whenever I have coffee out of this mug, I like to think that I'm having coffee with my mommy. So cheers, Mom. I love you and I miss you. So the lowdown of how we've gotten to this point with infertility, I hate saying that word, but let's be honest, my system doesn't want to work, so we'll just call it what it is. I was diagnosed with endometriosis about 9 years ago through actually surgery. I've always had, I'm going to talk about periods, just so you know. I've always had very, very heavy, painful periods. Bloating that is just out of this world, not only during my period, but mid-cycle, to the point where I look 4 months pregnant, my abdomen is distended, the pain is next level. So that's been fun, and I've known that that's been kind of in there for a while. I've had 2 surgeries for it. More on why they don't do those surgeries anymore later. So anyway, I've known that I have that. Nate checks out fine, but going in, as far as his testing is concerned, but going into trying to have kids, which we've been wanting to have kids for a long time. There goes a lot that goes into what took us so long to start. A lot having to do with my anxiety, the medications that I'm on, and that I'm actually going to stay on. Medicated pregnancy will be another episode. I have all the things to talk about. So we've been trying for a couple years, and there have been big breaks in the trying period, one being that my mother passed away, so the months leading up and right after, there was no way that I had the capacity to start being a mom or even think about being a mom because I just lost mine, so I just was a mess. One of the main reasons was that she wasn't going to be here, so that's something that breaks my heart on the daily. And the other time we stopped was because of my big surgery last year, which Nate actually had surgery 2 weeks before me. So we were just a hot mess laying around being, recovering, just messes. So we weren't touching that. So it's been a total of about 14 months of trying with no success, a big fat negative each month. And those are the months that we were really diligent, that I tracked, that I measured this and that, and I mean I have all the apps and all the different strips of this test, whatever, and that's not to say that there weren't other months that it could have happened. So it's kind of like, okay, cue Oliver going to scare off the neighbors. So anyway, we go to the reproductive endocrinologist because I've already had an HSG done. They checked my tubes. The tubes are clear. I was thinking maybe that was the issue. Nope, totally clear. I don't know why you're not pregnant, Bethany. That's really strange. So then I had a sonohistogram. These are both, the first was with Center for Reproductive Medicine. Second one, the sonogram, oh my God, I can't talk. The sonohistogram was with my OB, and she went in and just checked to see if maybe I had an ovarian cyst, because I was having a lot of pain on the right side, and that can sometimes interfere with implantation, because if it's basically it's a chaotic mess down there, and there's a lot of tissue that doesn't need to be down there, and sometimes when that's the case, then nothing wants to implant, because who wants to make a little cubby hole and live in a war zone, which is basically what my insides are. So anyway, after the sonohistogram, she's like, everything's going through. I don't understand. You're a mystery. And I just love hearing that. It's so helpful, and I can do so much with that. So, I mean, I love my doctors, don't get me wrong. So we go to the reproductive endocrinologist, and she's like, you've had all these tests done. This is great. You've done your due diligence. You've even seen a maternal fetal medicine specialist because of the medications you're on. Another episode about medicated pregnancies. It's going to be a good one. So she's like, I say we jump right into treatment. And I was like, whoa. And to be honest, I don't want to waste any more time. I'm 33 and a coda. Nate's 35 and a half. Not that we're super old. I just don't want to be much older than this when I become a mom. It's just kind of, I've always wanted to be a young mom, but that's not how my cards have played out. So So she said we could start right with IUI. She's like, we could do 3 cycles. I wouldn't do more than that because every time you have a period, you have the potential for your endometriosis to get worse, and I don't want you having more periods. I'm like, fantastic. So the problem is IUI has a 12% chance of working each time. I'm a numbers person, not trying to be the negative Nancy. I think about odds. And I also know that in my case, IVF would be something that would have a 65% chance of working. So, and I know it's a much longer, invasive, a lot of more shots process. But I was trying to weigh the odds. So I talked to them this week and I said, I'm just curious, like, am I crazy pants that I want to know if anybody ever jumps right to IVF? Because, I don't want to think of it as like cost benefit situation with a baby. That's not my goal. I'm just trying to think like, I want to do something that's going to work. So she's basically told me in my case that I could do either one. I could choose. And I was like, that's not you. I need you to tell me. I don't want to make that decision. But she's like, talk about it with your husband. You could do whatever you want. I think what we're going to do is one IUI first. They said that we can learn a lot about my egg production, about my lining, about my blood work, everything like that from even just doing one session of IUI. But you know what? If it works, that would just be grand. I think we would do one of those. And then if it didn't work, then maybe go to IVF after that. So today's the second appointment. We're going to talk about what we're going to do, get some blood work results, progesterone results, see what's going on. And then I will update you later. But anyway, good morning from the Michael household. Michaela and Oliver are, their lives are just, do you see how he's on the heating pad? He always lays on the heating pad. He's such a nut. Anyway, more updates later. Hope you guys are having a good morning.